Hello. Gonna do a beer review on a kind of unique beer. The beer review is on Guinness Nitro Cold Brew Coffee. Guinness Nitro Cold Brew Coffee. And I've never really had a coffee beer, except to be honest with you, till last night when I tried to make this beer review outside, and I had a couple of them. For the first time in my life, and that's why I've got 2 here and 4 new ones. I made them outside by my fire while I was cooking out, and it didn't turn out, so I'm redoing it. I want to put something out, either music or a beer review, because I'm still putting together Story 52D, my Whitehall Bigfoot encounter, up close, personal. I've got to put together, I mean, when I say put together, I'm putting together some of the facts that other, around the story. I know my own facts. I mean, I could tell the story right now, but I did some research into some things on it. So, it's about my last story of this type. I don't have an endless, catalog of hauntings, well, they're ongoing. Yeah, I kind of deliberated on this one, and I even had a couple people that know me suggest that maybe I want to consider not telling this one, because it's kind of far out, and I get their point. I might catch some, negative criticism from some people that follow Bigfoot and aren't going to, maybe not, some of them won't accept what I have to say from my experience. So this isn't really about that, but I hope to get that video out within the week. And it's going to be a 2-part video. Part 1 is my experience. Part 2 will be just some other things I put together, other people's and things recorded and historical things, that support what I experienced. It's not what I think, it's what I experienced. Okay, let's talk about this beer. Guinness Nitro Cold Brew beer, whatever. Let me see. I did a little bit of research on this. Guinness Nitro Cold Brew Coffee. It has a nice can. Gold, black, coppery. I hate to say it, but it sounds kind of superficial, but packaging of a beer can kind of sells it a bit to me. I don't know. Somewhat. I mean, it's got to be good beer if I'm going to drink it. I'm not that. Okay, a category of this is a dry stout. And a stout, historically, the first time it was ever found recorded in English writing was 1677. That's what I read. And a stout beer didn't mean a dark beer like it does now, a style. Back in that time, 1677 in Britain, probably Ireland, I think it's where it comes from. Stout beer just means a really strong beer. But now it means a dark beer classic of like Guinness Stout. Okay, it's brewed in Ireland, Dublin, St. James Gate. Alcohol is 4%, so it's not a very strong beer, really. It's not a weak beer, but it's definitely not a strong beer. It's rather moderate. IBUs, which is International Bitterness Units. IBU, it's 30 on this. And that's actually, 30s, it's got some hops in it. I tried to find out what hops they used on it, but it must be top secret. I couldn't find any of the actual ingredients, the type of barley, the hops, the way they use the coffee in it. Carbs, calories for a 12-ounce can. And I believe this is a 14, almost, what is this? Freaking all these candles. This is 14, almost, it's a 15-ounce can. So for a 12-ounce can, this would have 114 calories. And for those of you like myself who are trying to count carbs a little bit, it's 8.5 carbs for a 12-ounce. So do the math. It's Okay, I paid for this. I got it at my local Kinney's drugstore here in Moravia. I paid $8.99, not counting deposit or tax, for 4 of these 14.9 fluid ounce cans, almost a pint, not quite. $8.99. It's not terribly expensive. Comes to, what is it, about 2 1/4 a can. That's not bad. Okay, I looked at Guinness's site, said that this beer is a lovely, well-balanced beer that's perfect for any time of the day. As Guinness Nitro cold brew coffee sits at a moderate 4% alcohol by volume and 141 calories with no additional caffeine per 14.9 fluid ounces can. And I was wondering, like a coffee beer, when do you drink a coffee beer? When you're getting up, getting ready to go to work, start the day, you're going to have a coffee beer? I know I wouldn't, but you know, you're going to have it at the end of the night when you're trying to wind down. Where does it fit in? You know, I don't know, but according to them, any time of the day, according to Guinness site. I looked up caffeine. The amount of caffeine and the average caffeine content in an 8-ounce brewed cup of coffee is 95 milligrams, and that puts this pretty much 16-ounce carb, 15-ounce can at about equal with a cup of coffee in grams, that is, in terms of caffeine. About the same as a cup of coffee. But you know, I looked on Google and I got different. That differed greatly. So this coffee beer started in the 1990s, and it seems to be here to stay. I'm seeing more and more of it. And I've never tried it till last night on my failed beer review attempt. That's about all I got to read on it. So let's get to the beer. Great. It's got a nitrogen widget in it. It's got a really kind of a nice can. Here, let me get these lights up here. So you can see the can. Got the old harp, which makes you think of my favorite Celtic musician, Turlo Carolyn, and I'm working on some of his stuff on guitar and accordion right now. Another attractive can. You can hear the widget. There's a little ball in there full of nitrogen, and when I open the top, it releases the nitrogen into the beer, which gives it a nitrogen head that's famous for Guinness. A nice, creamy, really fine nitrogen head, as you shall see. All right, let's get to the brew. Now, when I open this, you should hear the nitrogen go, pop and give a little sad squeal, as it releases. Here's the mic, my microphone. I didn't really hear it. All right, let's get to the beer. Now, let's see if we can see that nitrogen go to work as I pour it in this Simon Pierce Windsor tankard. Let's see here. We just start it out like this. Try not to spill it. Oh, wow. I know what this tastes like, so I haven't had a beer tonight. It's late here where I'm at in central New York. I have not had any beer. So this is my first look at the nitrogen work in that. Will you? Look at it go. I don't know if you can see it from there. You can see that nitrogen working. This is going to be good, folks. Because I love coffee. I've got a nice coffee espresso machine. Which brings me to something else I wanted to... oops, sorry, Earl. I carved this guy. My son had it for years, but I wound up back. I was supposed to do some repairs on him. Fix his hat and his missing arm. So I've never got around to that. What exactly is coffee beer and how is it made? All right, so I did some research on coffee beer. Basically, they brew a coffee. Could be a lager, could be a stout, could be any style of beer. And they add coffee to it. How do they add their coffee to it? They could put a shot of espresso in it. They could brew some coffee grinds in it. They could put a coffee extract in it. They all use different ways, and they've got to be careful. It's a balancing act, because too much, it could turn it kind of acidic and turn to flavor. So let's get to this brew. I'm going to get to this brew. If you were here, I'd have one with you. But, all right, so as you can see, it's got a pretty creamy head on it. Real creamy head, like I would expect from a Guinness stout with nitrogen. It smells like caramel. Really smells, you can smell the caramel up front. Taste. It's good. It's very good. It's very, very good. The temperature of this beer, by the way, is 46 degrees Celsius, or Fahrenheit. 46 Fahrenheit. Which, according to this, comes out to 8 degrees Celsius. How dark is this beer? I forgot to cover that. Give it the old candle test. All right, so that's a mug of this beer with a candle sitting behind it. Right. It's not the darkest beer I've seen, but it's pretty dark. Now, folks, this beer tastes good. It goes down very easy. It's taste of caramel up front. Kind of really nothing overpowering at all about this beer. Very easy. I guess the saying would be a very light mouthfeel, like the difference between drinking hard water and perhaps spring water or distilled even. Soft. Goes down pretty easy, pretty velvety. Really, honestly, I can't recommend this enough. This is really good. I'm a Guinness fan. I've been a Guinness fan for a long time. This is really good. They did very well with this. So if you can get your hands on some of this, and you like coffee and you like beer, you're going to love this beer. You're going to love it. And I drink coffee and beer. I drink coffee all day long and have beers at night. But sometimes I can have both at the same time now. I still don't think this is an any time of the day beer. For some people, maybe, but not me. You know, I like to try to get some things done. It's not a bitter beer at all. I don't even taste any bitterness. But they've got 30 IBUs on the hops, so there's hops in this. And they have masterfully balanced this with the hops to the malt and the coffee. It really is extremely well balanced, very smooth, very smooth. So, I don't know what else I can say about this, really. Get some, honestly. If you like coffee, if you like beer, you're going to love this beer. Get it nice and cold. I drink it out of a mug, especially it's got that, kind of meant to be poured in a mug. It's got the nitrogen widget in it, and it is a Guinness stout after all. All right. Well, I could ramble on, but I won't. This is good beer. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5. I'm going to give it 5 stars, and that is very reserved. I gave one beer 5 stars that I don't really like, but it's such a unique old beer, and that was Ginny Cream Ale. I whimsically gave it 5 stars because it's induces legendary flatulence and such and such and such, and It's been around. It came out the same year I was born. It's been around forever. But I give this beer 5 stars because it's excellent. It's, in my opinion, excellent. Well balanced, well made, easy to drink, light. So it's good stuff. Get it. All right. Next time, hopefully, it'll be Story 52D. Take care. God bless all of you.